Welcome back, everyone, to episode 3 of Henosis Talks. Today, I'm here with this great human being over here, Greg.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How you doing? The camera, I'm like, where
Cameron, where do I go? Where do I go?
I go here.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have him here. He has some great knowledge to bestow upon all of you today. And you want to give us a little introduction of who you are as a person, as a soul?
Yeah, sure. Like she said, my name is Greg. Greg. I am 31 years old. Originally born in New Jersey.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I moved down here in 04. Yeah, so I've been here for a while, but I moved here. We were there for 14 years, and then I moved down here in 04. And yeah, I've been here ever since. And then I actually didn't start dancing. Another fun fact, I didn't start dancing until I came to Florida. I was never even in that world until Florida.
What changed? Like, what happened? Like, why?
The environment.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't until it was a college. Yeah, college is when I went into the gym, their little gym, and then did some weights, did some bench press, and I went to like this open gym area, and I saw some dude breakdancing.
Oh.
I was like, who's that? And then next thing you know, I meet like Camilo, I meet like DeMarco.
Oh,
I start meeting those guys. And that's like when I first started dancing for real.
And when was that? Was that when you got here in 2004, or was that?
No, that was years later. Was it? So I graduated high school in 11. So I was like 2013.
2013?
Yeah, 2013. And that's when I started like just hanging out with them, just dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you went to Sean's? Sean's was the first studio? Or first place you trained at? Or no?
Yes. Sean's was the first like actual studio.
Oh, okay.
I trained at. Yeah. But yeah, been dancing ever since, and then been getting into a lot of different areas of the entertainment industry. And yeah, that's like my main thing right now. My main goal is to be an entertainer, and then it's just my tagline. I'm hoping it's coming together, but my tagline is to entertain by any means possible. And by any means, it's like dancing, acting, making you laugh, voiceover, which we'll get into later. But by any means, it's basically by any vehicle that I want to explore through that, through entertain people. That's the goal.
Okay, bet. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, so in today's episode, I wanted to pick his brain about freedom from judgment, because he is a very, very expressive soul. At his grown age, he is the most like loving, expressive soul, and his heart is so much like just has a lot of love in it. And I wanted to see how I wanted to understand how he goes about his adult life being so free without judgment from other people. And also, we're going to talk about risk and courage and living fully free. Those are the topics. All right, so let's get into
Very
it.
nice topics.
Right?
This is going to be good.
Right? This is going to be a good one.
I like it.
All right, so the first question is, when did you first realize you cared too much about other people's opinions? If that ever was something that happened to you.
When did I first realize I cared too much about other people's opinions?
Yes.
I would say when I felt like I was less and less myself. So usually the more you care about others' opinions is the more you care about pleasing to make sure those opinions are positive of yourself.
Yeah.
So you don't want to ruin how other people perceive you, aka their opinions.
Yeah.
So you will act in a way, you'll do things in a way, you'll talk in maybe ways that are contradictory towards your true self, and that kind of slowly but surely erodes your self-confidence, because you're not trusting yourself to be yourself. So, and then self-esteem as well.
Yeah.
So over time, at some point in time, the more it erodes, it gets to a point where it's just like, this is not who I am. There's just that threshold of like, okay, this isn't good. I got to change something.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I remember it somewhere in high school. I really cared way too much about people's opinions. I was act a certain way, and then I found myself at events I would never even want to go to, but because they're like, "Oh, you should go here because so and so is going to be here," they'll think I'm a cool person. You know how high school is.
Yeah.
You know, and because of those things, I found after so many instances that I didn't learn, it finally came to a boiling point where I'm like, okay, this is not working for me at all. So I was like, okay, well, now we got to change something. Because when that moment comes, you're like, I was sitting at an event and I'm sitting there. I think people are smoking in the side. People are doing this, that, and the third. Everyone's like, I'm like, what am I doing here? You know, when I was in high school, I was a band kid, musician, like playing drums, listening to music and making music. And I'm here with like the jocks and like a completely different crowd doing things I would never do the past couple of years I was in high school. I was like, bro, this is not me. Even, I didn't really, it took me, it takes your time to grow and to know yourself.
Yeah.
Even through high school. But even in high school, there is a certain point where you go like, I at least know enough about myself where like, this is not something I would do.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
This is not places where I would be. And I was just immediately was like, told my friend, I'm like, I'm going home. Yeah, I called my cousin. They're like, yo, can you pick me up? Because I didn't have a car. I didn't have a car in high school at all. So I was like, yo, come scoop me because I'm done with this. I was only there for like an hour and 15 minutes. I was like, no, this ain't it. So yeah, I think that the fact that I remember it so vividly, I think that's like was a very key point where I was like, all right, I got to stop. Not only caring, but living for other people's opinions. Because that's exactly where the action came from. I said, I am willing to change my life for the opinions of others, which is why I found myself in that position. So that prompted me to change.
Wow. That was a good. I know that touched you simply because you had the detail, like you said, you had the detail about the story.
Yeah.
So that's how I know that it really resonated with you, and that was a turning point.
I'm telling you, as I was saying the story, the images replayed in my head like a movie. It's how vividly I remember things. At least when they're so emotionally charged, like when events are emotionally charged, like it's hard for you to forget. So yeah, wow, that was such a big moment. Definitely.
Okay, that's a good one. This really is care too much about other people's opinions. Well, the only from the beginning, what got me started with caring about people's opinions was choosing to not do what I want to do and do what my mom wanted me to do. It started from my mom, like me wanting to do all the things that she wanted me to do instead of living for myself. And I guess over time that did transfer into my relationships with other people as well. But when I did realize, I think it was a series of moments that I had. I don't know if it was just one set moment that I had when I was like, well, I care too much about what people, because it's repeatedly going on. And it still happens sometimes that I care too much about what other people are saying about me or what they think about me or how they perceive me. But it's not as frequent as it used to be when I was younger. Like the older I'm getting and the wiser I'm getting and the more awakenings I have, I'm just like, none of that, it doesn't really matter. None of that shit really matters. Like as long as I love myself and I'm happy with the way I'm expressing myself, then that's okay. That's all that matters. Everything else is out the window. But
you're completing the levels. You're completing the levels.
Yeah, it definitely is different levels as well. Like every single time going through these different life-changing events, and then also just getting handed so many things as well throughout life. You have to level up. You can't stay this way when everything in life is showing you to do this.
I think in every level it feels like we're learning that same lesson again and again.
Yeah.
But as we level up, so do the difficulties. Yeah,
it's like you're getting the same challenge, but at like 100 times 100 times the strength, 100 times the emotion, 100 times the trauma.
Yep.
It's like you're just doing it again and again.
Exactly.
That's the patterns that we're in.
It's like now that you're strengthening yourself to 50 times, okay, here's a challenge at 75 times.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I've done this before. But yeah, you have at 25 and 40 and 50. Great job, but now you got 75.
Now you got 75.
You know what I'm saying? And then you get to 75, here's 100.
Oh my gosh, and it just keep going.
Yes,
exactly. Your time is done.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was a good one though. I like that one. All right. The next question is, how adulthood sometimes bring more fear of judgment than childhood, and why is that?
Wow. Ugh, this is so real. Because it wasn't until even like a couple of years ago. Adulthood, we care more than we do as a child. Because we're more free as a child.
Yeah.
We haven't gone through those years of peer pressure and like feeling those judgments, and a lot of things as a child were very non-judgmental.
Yeah.
Recess, creativity, even the environment. Like, hey, you want to go play here and do this? Like, yeah, sure. Let's make up a story in our minds about, and then when we play with our toys, and then we're making up a world in those toys. Free from judgment or criticism.
Yeah.
So a lot of our experiences as a child was very much unrestricted. So it gave us freedom and the safety to just express. And we got used to that. It wasn't until we're going to the adult world that these parameters and borders start popping up about how we should act, who we should be, these social pressures about what we should be doing at this point in time. Now that you're here, you should be doing this. I think that slowly boxes people in time and time and takes away that freedom.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, they let another wall come down and it closes off the freedom they had. Or another wall comes down here and it closes off the freedom they had here in this area or this area of their lives. And then at some point, you get to be an adult, and next thing you know, all your creativity is here. And it's not expansive as it was as a child. Because all those walls, those societal pressures have come down. Not only that, but we've let them come down as well.
Yeah.
You've seen the adults who maybe they've experienced the pressures, but they haven't let it get to them and get to the core of their being. Because they've been, I know plenty of people that have fought that. And I think with some people, I think you have to fight that experience. Because it will get to you. Those pressures, I think some people, because of their situation, a lot of times, like you said, parents.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest ones. That's where the first walls come down, is your parents. As anybody who doesn't have the self-confidence to take a risk or to put themselves out there, a lot of the times, if you go back to why that is, it's because they had an experience with their either mother or father or parental guardian that restricted or closed off an area in their mind that said, yes, you can be creative, yes, you can take risks, yes, you can put yourself out there and who cares if anybody judges you?
Yeah.
That part in their mind was blocked and or sealed off by a parent's words and or actions. So that's another reason why by the time we get to adulthood, we're not as free as we were. I think that's a huge issue. I think, me personally, I've had to fight back and really remove the walls. At some point in time, once I've had freedom to be an adult myself, I said, and the closeness and the pressure of the parents gains distance, then I had a chance to look at myself and be like, okay, who am I really? Minus anybody's opinions or how they see what they want from my life. I looked through all my ideals, what I believe. I said, without anybody's opinion, do I still believe this thing? And I went down all these areas of my life and I said, do I believe this thing, or is it somebody's words told me to believe this thing? And that's what I started sifting through all these ways of thinking. And I'm just like, nah, this has nothing to do with me. This is my uncle's wound that he was projecting onto myself. I'm like dancing at a Christmas party, and he's like, why are you being so loud?
It is. That's crazy.
And he's like, you should be reserved. You should, bring your level down. I was like, why? At first I did. First I was like, because not only that, I had our aunts and uncles' parents that would reinforce that because that's how they grew up.
Okay.
So there's nobody telling me like, oh no, don't worry about that. You can be yourself. You can be loud. That's fine. But there was nobody who told me that. So anything that was told to me enough and was reinforced was accepted without any pushback at all. So once I had space away from that, then I can go back to that and be like, what was that really? When it comes to the freedom as an adult, I think that's the biggest fight we have as we get older, is to fight the old ways of thinking.
Yes.
The old ways of thinking, the old ideals, and to challenge those things. Sometimes we might keep them. Sometimes we might reevaluate and be like, actually, in a certain context, that is true. But it's up to us to go through that process and like really sit through that and find where, like, if you were to think about where do you think you have an ideal or a way of thinking that you think hasn't come from you? And it's just like, okay, it could be your parents, friends, business partner, teacher from school. They're very influential as well.
Yeah, it could be an instructor.
It could be an instructor, in our world.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we're getting better, it could be like we highly take the opinions of all the instructors, and we're more likely to take their word. So yeah, all those things is a lot of work we got to do mentally.
Yeah.
To sift through those things. And
do you think it's possible for all of us to do that?
It is, but it's hard.
Not everybody chooses to because they find that path harder.
Yes.
To go down.
Not everybody chooses it. One, because it's hard, and two, it's so internalized they think it's them. Somebody could have given them an idea, but because it was so reinforced so many times, they internalize that idea. They internalize it. Now they accept the idea and integrate it into their identity.
Yeah. So
now they don't see the difference between their ideal and the other person's words. It's the same.
Man, that's so sad too.
Which when other people who like knew you before be like, oh, you changed, but not for the better, and they've seen that change, and they're like, what do you mean? It's because they've internalized that either negative, let's say it's a negative ideal, negative habit, negative way of thinking, and they've internalized it. It's where it's like, oh, have you ever heard the phrase, that's just how I am?
Yeah. I used to say that sometimes. It was moments when I would say that.
Yeah. And that is really, that phrase itself, that's just how I am, is really undercutting yourself. Because our brain can change as fast as it did before. If you look at like even the science of neuroplasticity, it's a way of rewiring your brain to like thought and action. It's why when somebody says change new habit in 21 days.
Yeah.
Because the rule in neuroplasticity is you have to rewire your brain to a certain habit, which means you can change it.
Yeah.
You weren't a person who used to go to the gym, well, you can change that. It's not like you're forever locked into like never going to the gym. You can't do it.
Yeah.
But the same goes with thought patterns as well. New thought patterns could be made. New thought patterns can be rewired into your brain. You just have to do the work to make it as consistent and reinforce it as much as it was reinforced to you in the past.
Yeah.
So as much work as it was reinforced to put that idea in your brain, it's the same amount of work you got to do to take it out and reinforce a new idea. Mm-hmm. Because however deep it is how far you got to go.
And so that's the part that people don't want to take care of. Because then that means they have to be consistent. They got to show up for themselves.
That's right.
They got to show themselves some more love. And
that's right.
Spend some time alone.
Sometimes that's scary. Yeah. People don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
They don't even want to be alone with themselves.
Yeah. They don't know how to.
Yeah, you tell somebody to be, and they like, tell them to go through that path. They're like, oh, it's too dark down there.
Yeah.
All those changing my thought patterns. They're like, hear all this? They're like, nah, I ain't doing it. It's scary now. Mm-hmm. Because especially if you've internalized it, then you're almost throwing away who you are.
Yeah.
To some people. If you've internalized it and then it's become your identity, and somebody says you have to look into that and see if that's even you, and you're like, wait a minute, but this is who I am. And then it feels like to them, like they're throwing out everything about who they are. Mm-hmm. So that's another reason why it could become scary. They're like, no, I've gotten used to the way I'm living. I've gotten used to these ways, these patterns of thought. But it's just like, not only, and then you got complacency too.
Yeah.
So all those things work against you, which is what makes it so hard, especially as an adult. Your parent has an experience where you experienced something at age 7, 30 years later, that's been so ingrained into you, reinforced over time. That's why a lot of times at a certain age, people don't change. Mm-hmm. Or don't have the will to change.
Don't have the will to.
Yeah.
Don't have the will to. Yeah.
It's still possible for them.
Yeah, it's still possible. You can change
at any point.
Any age. It doesn't matter. You can be 70 years old and want to change, and that can.
Exactly. And it's kind of sad because the only times, more often than not, in my experience, that I've seen people change is through extremely emotional events.
Yeah, a lot of trauma. Mm-hmm. What's scarier, failing or never trying?
That's easy. Never trying. But when it comes, the thought about failure makes that sometimes worse.
Yeah, thinking that you're going to fail at something that you really want to succeed at.
Just the thought of failure. The thought of failure sometimes feels worse in someone's mind than never trying at all. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, but if I do try and then I fail, then there's this, that, and that's going to happen.
Yeah.
People are going to think, say, do, whatever. And that's why, at least for me, it felt easier to answer. Mm-hmm. But I think societally, if that's a word. When it comes to society, I think a lot of people, the thought of failure really cripples them to even start in the first place.
Yeah.
So I think, although I would say never starting is my answer, mm-hmm. I also want to, for anybody else that may be watching, I think the thought of the fear of failure itself, not even failing,
but the fear of failure.
just the thought of thinking about failure scares you to even start in the first place. You haven't even failed yet. Like you didn't even do anything to possibly fail yet. Exactly. So you don't even know if that's going to happen.
Exactly.
Like you could do something your first time and not fail at it the first time. But like because you think you're like you're going to fail at it, mm-hmm. then it doesn't even start in the first place.
Yeah, you basically already failed because you didn't even start.
That's crazy. Which means you already failed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Failed to start.
Yeah.
You know, mm-hmm. I think that's a great way to encourage people.
To encourage people?
I think because starting is a failure not starting is a failure in itself.
Yeah. Start by starting. Look at that.
If there's an idea or something you want to do, even if it keeps you up at night, you have to start it. Mm-hmm. There is no if, ands, or but. No. The reason why it stays in your head day after day, week after week, month after month, and people are telling you, and then then it gets to the point where you talk to your friends about it, like, oh, I'm thinking about this. And then they confirm it, like, oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
You're this person, and when you do this, it totally makes sense. That is all the confirmation you need to do to start it. Mm-hmm. And at that point, now that you have that information, it's different if you never had that information at one point. But now that you have that information, not starting is then becomes failure. Mm.
Yeah, and that just also shows how strong your thoughts are.
Yes.
Like your thoughts create your reality. That's something that I hear all the time, and it's so
Right.
valid and so true. Because if even the thought of failure is the thing that's stopping you from starting, then that just explains how powerful your thoughts are.
Correct. I think for a while, was it affirmations became trended for a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Yeah. Are they not trending anymore or something?
I mean, when they first came out, it was huge. But I think it's just kind of leveled out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just become a part of the. But I think for the most, I think it's just around my circles. I use work as like a good indicator of the rest of society and not my inner bubble.
Oh yes, that's how I feel. That's what I used to do when I had a job, but that's what I do at school now.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I'm like, it's different when it comes to the people I'm around, because a lot of them believe in themselves. A lot of them are doing what's in their head. A lot of them are all pursuing.
Yeah.
So, my perspective is skewed by the bubble I'm in, by my friends and everything. Hence why we're sitting here.
Exactly.
So that's why I use my work around the average person, outside of creatives, that I'm like, okay, so how does society really operate?
Yeah.
And I use that as like almost like a barometer, to see like what's real.
Yeah.
I get a grip on reality when I step outside of that bubble. So that's what I use that on. And then that's what I've been finding. I was like, yeah, just so many people will think of, there's so many people who's thinking about this idea, that idea, and the third. Years go by and they haven't made a single step, not a single step towards that idea. I'm talking not even like in action, not even writing it down. Because even the step of writing it down, even the step of writing it down makes it more real, because you've gone from it's gone from your head to a piece of paper. That is already more real than just keeping it in your mind.
Yeah.
And they have yet to do even that, which is wild, because like the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
Which it's crazy, because the thoughts in your head can even keep you from even doing that. When I talk about crippling, which goes back to like what we're talking about how we're influenced and why we think that we can or cannot do something, is our beliefs. And maybe because we're not capable, we're all capable, especially considering like we all have gifts that we will utilize in this world.
Yeah.
Well, we're supposed to, at least. Not everybody does, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But we're all given gifts, because at some point in time, somebody is, like I said, has thought of something, you thought of an idea, thought of a business, thought of a service, thought of something that would benefit someone else and yourself. And I was like, oh, this would be great. This would be a great idea. I still do this too. There's still ideas where I still think of on them. I still haven't acted on them. Like, why? And even for me, I'm just like, okay, now I got to go back and reevaluate why I think this about this specific topic. I've gotten there with other places like dance. I know, but you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
I'm a dance left, right, center. I don't care. So, but it's like, maybe it's like, okay, now I have an idea outside of dance, like a business venture, where I don't have the most confidence. So then I have to, and then the Greg you see that's dancing is not the Greg you see when it comes to that business venture. And it's like, oh, why doesn't that translate? Because maybe that work hasn't been done. What has been done, the work that has been done with dance has not been done within a business. Maybe within the business world, or within, like, let's say I wanted to become a speaker. That's a whole new realm in which I would have to apply that same mindset that I've applied to dance. I've done that so often, and because I'm in that world, I've now become very comfortable in that world. Not so much if I was going to be a speaker. Not so much if, for stand up or anything like that.
Yeah.
Man, just me thinking about, I do want to do stand up, but man, just the thought of it is already, it's already a little scary, because I'm just like standing up on stage. although I know being in front of people isn't that hard because I've done that plenty of times.
Yeah, what is it exactly that scares you around stand-up?
It has to do with the failure.
Failure? Okay.
I think failure goes back to fear. And then when you go to fear, what is the basis for that fear? And that's honestly where we start this conversation, is people's opinions. And what you say to yourself about those opinions. And because I haven't like put myself in that world and dealt with those things, I have not yet gone to myself and gone through the process of like, affirming myself. I'm like, you're going to fail. You are going to experience not good shows where people are going to not laugh at your jokes and not applaud you, and you're going to have a really stale audience.
Yeah.
You're going to be super dry and not going to be responsive. Granted, I haven't experienced that yet, but there is somewhere between the experience and the thought that isn't connecting, which is why, in my case, starting is the thing that connects the two.
I like that.
Because you have a laughing experience, I think the action removes the wall of the fear. I think even with the podcast, I think the more after that first one, it was like, okay, how's this going to go?
Yeah.
But you do like 2 or 3 more episodes, you're like, okay, I'm figuring it out, but you're a little more comfortable, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's the action. It's the starting. For me, it's just a new field I'm going to have to work through because it's a new area that I've never touched. So I'm going to have to like work through that and then just do like some kind of amateur night and do that like 2 or 3 times, get super comfortable and be like, what was I freaking out about anyway? And then that's all just going to be like, okay, all right. It was just that you just got to get out of the way. It's like dipping your toes in the water. It's cold. You dip your whole body in.
Yeah. Just jump in.
Just jump in.
Just jump in.
Just jump in. And then after you feel cold, you will feel cold.
Yeah.
But give it some time and your body will get accustomed to the water.
Yeah.
And then you'll feel fine after however many minutes. It's the same way when it comes to our dreams, our endeavors, and things we want to do.
Yeah.
And it's actually doing a lot. Now that I'm saying it, I'm like, it's actually helping me. Now that I'm actually saying it and walking it through. Because I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. When it comes to that point, I think I'll be in a better position to actually do something about it. Now that I've like talked through it.
Yeah.
So.
So
I'm so glad we actually did this.
Good, yeah. Yo, I swear I figure out stuff during these podcasts, and my guests figure out stuff during this podcast.
100%.
So I love it.
Yeah, this is why I love doing this stuff, even without like, which I love the podcast, but this is why I love to do this on a regular,
just like basis. In-depth conversation, like actual conversation that shows someone's soul,
exactly,
their heart, their mind.
And we help each other figure things out about ourselves and about each other. Continue to help us throughout our daily lives. So I'm like, oh, let's do it.
Yeah.
Always down for that. So great.
Can you explain, in your opinion, in your perspective, how art, creativity, or personal style can be tools for freedom?
Art, creativity, and personal style can be tools for freedom. Ooh, this is going to be a good one.
That's you in your essence.
Yes,
that's your
because essence. I feel like, especially when we talked about the areas in our life where we're more confident, I think I can really speak on this because I've become confident. I've gotten to a very confident point when it comes to art, creativity, and freedom. When we talk about expressing ourselves and how we do it and what ways we do it, whether it be like painting, singing, molding, dancing.
Yeah.
I think creativity is one. It's just an expression. It's an outward expression of who we are.
Yes.
So in whatever means, right? And we have to, one, be comfortable with ourselves to show ourselves.
Yeah.
For people, when it comes to people who are not really sure of who they are, it's harder for them to express who they are.
Yeah.
I think for me, when I got to a point where I was more sure and clear about who I was as a person, um, weaknesses, strengths, talents I've been given, it was much easier to say, this is who I am and this is who I'm not. I'm totally okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that makes it easier. And I think creativity, art is just a vessel in which we express that, which gives us freedom to be ourselves.
Yeah.
I think I think about whenever I freestyle or like film a video or like we're in class and it's you're doing choreography and then when you're freestyling after a choreo or just in like a dance cipher at all.
Yeah.
And you just let anything go.
Just let it out. You just let it out, and you watch it back. You're like, oh, I didn't even know I did that.
Exactly. You ever black out and you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
And you're just going,
Yeah.
not caring about who you are, where you are. You don't even know where you're at.
Yeah.
It was just you, the music, and yourself. And I think that's a great place to be. I think truly expressing yourself is freedom in itself. Now, you're going to learn more about yourself along the way, of course, which is great. But it's always having the confidence to express who you are at the moment, at that time. If you can do that without judgment or without criticism of yourself, oh, is this going to look good? What are people going to think if I do dance like this? Should I not dance? Should I do this?
Yeah.
I want to look cool, so I should probably do this. That's not freedom at all. You're already restricting yourself by what you think other people are going to think when you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and even putting yourself out there in the first place is not freedom in itself. Now you're restricting yourself. So that's not freedom either.
Okay.
So there's not even putting yourself out there. And there is putting yourself out there, but limiting yourself to a portion of yourself because you think this or that person will think something of it.
Yeah.
That's also limiting. It's just at different levels.
I've been in both of those as well.
There you go. And you ever think about that later on? Like, how did you feel after any of those experiences?
It was a lot of just self-judgment. That's all it reflects to is just a bunch of self-judgment because if I was truly in the moment of just expressing myself, then I wouldn't care, oh, did this move look cool? Or it was always trying to either self-judgment and trying to impress people. And, I don't really find myself in that space anymore, but I do find myself in the space to where sometimes if I am dancing and I feel like I'm doing too much and I won't feel it in the moment, but it's when I watch videos back and I'll be like, dang, like I was doing all that. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have. And I started questioning myself. Like in the moment, I'm chilling, I'm fine. But it's like watching myself back. I was like, it's just a lot of self-doubt around not the moves I was doing specifically, but was I doing too much? Was I expressing too much? Yeah. But I'm still trying to work and build myself up through that to be like, oh, it's okay. Like, it's okay. It was just in the moment. It felt good in the moment. As long as it feels good in the moment and I'm chilling and I'm vibing, having a good time, I'm okay. But you
shouldn't judge yourself how you felt in the moment. If that moment was pure, then regardless of whenever you watch it back, I think you should find comfort knowing that in that moment you were truly yourself. Truly yourself looks, and you're different. You're different people at different times.
Yeah.
So the person you were in the moment may be a different person watching the moment, and then that might look weird because you're like, wait a minute, which might be why we'll look at a video and say, ugh.
Yeah.
You got to understand yourself in that moment. You got to understand who I was at that point. You're like, oh, okay, I was around this type of people. I felt very safe and very comforted to like be myself, to express myself and explore in ways that I've never done before, which brought this out of me. And now that I've come out of that, maybe days later, and maybe I'm in a different place and I'm watching that, I'm like, wait a minute, this looks weird. No, that was you. That was a pure version of you, a version of you that was exploring, that was trying new things, that was exploring more about themselves through movement. And I was like, I don't think we shouldn't judge ourselves. I think we should lean into those moments.
Yeah.
Especially when you watch them back, because we have to like, because I think there's like a subconscious, if people were to watch this.
Yeah, that is a thought. Yes. That is literally the thought that I had today, actually. I had that thought today. I was like, no, if people are going to watch this and they're going to feel like, nah, but it's only me. It's I'm just reflecting. I'm literally just, yeah.
I think we do too much of that and we like bog ourselves down. And it's just like, and then we get to the point where we're like, well, I'm just not even gonna. Next thing you know, that video gets put to the side.
Yeah.
2 years later, we're like, wait a minute, this is one clip.
Right?
I was going crazy.
Right? The amount of times that's happened to me, low key. Like the amount of times where I've been like, wait, this is actually not that bad. I didn't. Yeah,
exactly. You might even look at it 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Like, actually, that was kind of fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was. It was fire then, and it's fire now.
Yeah.
The only difference is how you thought about it.
Your perception.
Yeah.
The perception. The way you perceive yourself and the way you perceive life is very, very important.
Yeah. And it's fire not because somebody else validated it. It's because you were yourself in that moment. I think that's another thing you gotta, because especially with dance, it's always the validation of the crowd. Yeah. Of the people we look up to, of the class. And it's just like that can taint how we look at ourselves. Yeah. Oh, nobody was cheering for me. Yeah. I guess it wasn't that good. Maybe they didn't understand it.
Valid. That's a good one.
There's in some places people in ballet won't understand crowd.
You said will or won't?
Won't. In some instances, people in ballet won't understand crowd, vice versa.
Yeah.
Unless you're knowledgeable about all those things.
Yeah, unless you're
knowledgeable about street styles and, and studio styles, but like, same goes for like ballroom and Afro. People who are like all in ballroom, and that's all they are, and then they look at Afro like, what is this?
Oh yeah, that comparison is crazy.
Like, it's just like so. Right, it's like, what is this? Their moves are so erratic. They have no technique. They're looking at it from the eyes of their experience, which is the ballroom. Granted, but when you go back to the Afro, when you go into the Afro world, and they look at tap, they're like, why are you so restricted? Yeah. It could be, unless I'm making it a hypothetical situation if you're talking about a person that was solely from that community. And it's funny because it doesn't make sense until you're on the other side of things. Because we can see it and be like, ballroom has their technique, Afro has their technique.
Yeah, it's just two different techniques.
It's just two different things.
Yeah.
But then like people solely within that community looking at each other like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
Granted, now because we know those things and because we have experience in a lot of different street styles, like different kinds of movement, you don't even know what kind of audience you were a part of when they saw something foreign. This is an interesting thought. I'm just even thinking to myself, like there are times where I thought about a freestyle where I went very like contemporary, modern, because I was just feeling different. I was like, I just feel like trying to find ways to move my body that I've never felt before. And it was hard for people to register that because it was like hip hop commercial choreography. And here's me like
trying to do,
exactly. And it didn't really land. But at that moment, at my moment, I wanted to do that. I wanted to explore that. I wanted to push my body in different ways. And I was purely expressing myself at that moment. The audience didn't receive it as well. that doesn't mean that it was what I needed at that moment. And I shouldn't let the audience dictate what I need at the moment.
True. Yeah.
If you need that, if you wanna be like, you know what, let me try this and that out. You shouldn't look for the audience for confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
You should just do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
Start. You know. So I think we give ourselves more confidence when we do that. When without anybody's confirmation, without anybody's permission, we express ourselves the way we feel in the moment or on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we're here to learn freedom as part of the human experience?
Do you think we're here to learn freedom as part of the experience?
Because that's the one thing that a lot of people struggle with, is just being free.
In a sense, we're already born into this world free because we have no influence. We have zero influence when we come into this world.
So it's literally society and the people around you.
Then the environment chisels you into what you end up becoming.
Yeah.
And then it's almost a cycle of getting back to freedom.
Getting back to freedom. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Almost sounds like a tagline.
Yeah, getting back to freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, we're brought into this life free.
Right.
Environment shapes us, curves us, cuts us up, and then it's our duty. Once we realize that our environment did that, it's our duty to ourselves to make that cycle, to get our freedom back. That's so crazy. I like that.
I'm sure we'll still take things that we experienced with us, at least hopefully all the positive things. Because there are plenty of things, positive things that shape us.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to the things that hinder us, I think those are the things we need freedom from. Things that hinder us, that keep us back, hold us back from living the lives and being the people we were supposed to be.
Yeah.
The free people we were supposed to continue being. I think that's the battle.
Yeah.
That's the getting back to freedom. Otherwise, yeah, we came to this world free. We're free to do anything. You know, you realize, you ever seen a newborn? How everything amazes them?
Yeah.
They're so intrigued with everything.
Yeah.
Right. They're just waving it around like, oh, what's this? What does this thing do? Let me does it break? You know, they have no idea how this world works.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, precious little innocent brains and souls.
Right. Exactly. They're just free to just like, okay, as you know, and then over time, our parents are like, with you know, a lot of them do have good intentions where it's just like, okay, let's keep you safe. You know, it was not, don't burn yourself on the kitchen stove.
Yeah.
Or, you know, look twice before crossing the road so you don't get hit or something.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, like we were talking about like, you know, thought patterns and ways of thinking that hinder us and take away our freedom, essentially.
Yeah.
It's noticing those things, acknowledging those things, and making a intentional, consistent effort to remove those things from our lives, or at least from our brains.
Yeah.
You know, because we can see that things are there. Even if we feel it, we can be like, something feels off. But it's not until we find it, we see it, and then we acknowledge it. And we're like, okay, now I fully see it, whatever that is, for what it is. Now that I completely know what it is, then I can do something to change it. Because it's almost like trying to find somebody in a fog.
Yeah.
It's like, is that a shadow? Is that a person, a thing, or is that like a light bulb? you know,
Yeah.
You don't know what it is. It could be an animal. It could be a dog. And it's not until the fog clears and you see it for who it is, like, oh, there's my friend. Then you know who it is. Then you can act accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like, oh, that's a bear. Let me go the other way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think a big word which we've never mentioned yet is clarity.
Okay.
Clarity is huge.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's the biggest thing I'm trying to work on right now, gaining clarity in like all these in as many areas as possible in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like mental clarity, just, relational clarity. And even when it comes to dance and stuff, like knowing myself, figuring out and knowing who I was gave me clarity to be like, okay, this is who I'm going to aspire to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have clarity on my strengths, my weaknesses, the gifts I've been given.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this what works for me, my strengths, my weaknesses. I put it all together. I'm like, with these in mind, with all the gifts, everything I am here, I'm clear, and then this gives me gives me guidance on things I may want to pursue.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times it's like, oh, I don't know if I like to surf, I like sports or creative stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be a business, kind of just, which is a lot of when we're younger, that's what we're trying to figure out, which is fine. And honestly, that's the process of figuring that out is needed, but it's because of the barriers we have that we've grown into that process sometimes just doesn't go the way is intended.
Yeah.
Because with the freedom, because that's another thing, freedom to try, freedom to experiment. There's also that too. Because of course we're not going to know. That's why we try things. Let's try football. Yeah. Don't like that? Let's try basketball. Don't like that? Tennis.
There's
swimming.
So many things you can try to see
exactly
what is your interest.
But then sometimes those borders go, oh, how about you try basketball? Oh, I don't know. My friend said this, that, the third about basketball, and she didn't like that experience, so I don't know if I'm going to try it either.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
so now we don't try it.
Yeah.
And even if we don't like basketball, there's something that we gain from trying it and knowing.
Yeah.
That if we didn't try it, now we lose out on that, and that like now hinders our progress into freedom, because it's just like the process of trying basketball in this example and then knowing that it's not for you. It's like, oh, I like it, but it's not like a lifelong goal.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, everything you experience is useful. Mm-hmm. All the things, like me as a band kid was very useful going into dance.
Yeah, it's probably like music theory and things like that. It's
exactly.
Understanding music.
Mm-hmm. And now the way I look at music is completely different.
Yeah, especially like the fact that you played an instrument and you're a dancer.
Exactly.
Like, your brain is already going different ways.
So if it wasn't for that, instead of just listening to music and be like, oh my gosh, the bass, now I'm looking at things because now I've experienced it. I'm like, hi-hat, kick drum, toms, bass.
Okay, gotcha.
So now I'm thinking about it in a more detailed way because I've experienced that. Mm-hmm. And that works with a lot of people who are musicians as well. Well, those are just one of the experiences I went through. But we talked about how while we have these experiences and try these things, what we should be very mindful of is what skills translates over all those things.
Yeah. Skills are important.
Those is what we take with us, and those are what we're supposed to hang on to when it comes to finding that one thing where we end up finding a passion for. Mm-hmm. What I need to sell is my energy and who I am.
Yes. That's what we all should be doing. we all should be selling our energy
Yes.
and who we are.
Yes. So you know as well as I do, Sean Green does that.
Oh, Sean, like, what does he do? He's Sean Green. That's what he does.
He's Sean Green.
That's what he does. He's Sean Green.
This guy gets paid to be himself.
Yes. Yes.
To make to make sure they're like, if you're not the Sean Green that everybody else is getting, we don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as long as he's staying authentically himself, he'll be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly how people want him. Nothing different.
Yeah. That's so great. That's so great. He's like one of the first people that I realized that that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can make money just for being yourself.
Literally.
You can make a whole life, a whole brand just from you existing.
Yeah, exactly.
But it all starts with you, like, really, like, taking time to be free.
Yeah.
To express yourself. To really, truly express yourself without judgment. Because I know he does not give two craps about people and their judgment.
No, not at all. And honestly, being around him, actually, now that I think about it, actually helped me.
Yeah.
Because the more
I could see that.
The more I was around him, the more I'm like, oh, the more I saw examples of like, oh, I could do that too.
Yeah.
Oh, he's being himself around these people, and then the reception is good.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's all about the
I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that. Uh-huh. Yeah. But if you never see that, how can you believe that for yourself if you never see it?
And that's so crazy because I could see the difference from like when I first met you at Sean's compared to now, even like 2 years ago, like just the difference in like your personality and like your energy. I can just tell that you're more comfortable.
Yes.
You're definitely way more comfortable compared to like 2018, 2019 when I first met you.
Oh, thank you. That's honestly, that's a bigger compliment than many other things. Because regardless of what I do in life, that stays with you. Mm-hmm. So who I am, being complimented for who you truly are, and like the elevation of those things is oh man, I don't know. Is it? Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's great. It's amazing. Yeah. I literally was telling Christian, I said, I need Greg at every single event. Not gonna lie, I need your energy because not everybody has that energy, especially for your age. Like, not a lot of people have that energy, and when people see someone of your stature, your demeanor, acting the way you do, automatically it makes everyone just loosen up. Like it just makes everyone like, oh, okay, like this is a grown ass man, and he's being himself and being free and showing so much love. Like, why am I so like nervous about anything? Yeah. Like, no. Yeah. You give people space and enough love and energy to just be themselves, and that's really admirable.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Very much. It's literally the reason why I am where I am. Because now that you say that, all the things I think about, all the things I want to pursue, dance allows for all of that. Mm-hmm. Allows for that energy and space. Same with acting, allows for that energy and space.
Yeah.
I told you we were talking previously about stand-up comedy. Allows me to be that energy and space.
I cannot wait for that. Yeah. I want to be one of the first people to get a link to get the tickets and like, yeah, I got my first amateur night. Okay, I'm there. I have to see that.
Because that's what comedy is. It's a person telling jokes about their life, their experience, or maybe something that's written down with their personality stacked on top.
Yeah.
That's
so automatically, it's just anything that comes out of your mouth is going to be nice. I just know.
And because a lot of times, especially the people, I can't wait for those first ones because it's going to be a lot of the people who all these stories I come up with, they're going to be part of it. Like you guys are going to know, like even deeper if I talk about a joke with an SDF, you're going to be like, I know that. Yeah. So it's going to be great. Those first shows are going to be great before I that are like content from like back in the day. Because that's the stuff I'm going to use, you know.
Yo, not going to lie, this would be really crazy, but the thought just came to mind that you should do stand up for the bounce.
Stand up.
Fear of judgment as a form of ego attachment. What happens when you dissolve it? Because that is attached to the ego.
Fear of judgment attached to the ego.
Yeah.
What happens when it dissolves?
What happens when you get like ego death, basically?
Yeah.
And that shit's crazy. I experienced that because of psychedelics, and that was crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was.
How was that? Because I don't do.
You don't do anything like
I don't do psychedelics. Like you already know how. Yeah, I'm pretty clean with most stuff. Clean.
But psychedelics is nothing. The thing I can say about psychedelics is it's not like marijuana. It's not like alcohol because it's not gonna. bring something out of you that's like, alcohol brings out spirits and stuff like that. When you're weak, when you're high, you're like kind of like this and things like that. But all psychedelics do is make you sit with yourself. It really opens your brain and your soul up to like everything that you're experiencing when you're on psychedelics is just a projection, like an actual projection of what you're feeling. So if someone has a bad trip, it's bad because of their emotions inside. They're projecting something, so they're experiencing it, and it could be perceived as a bad trip, but that's not the reality of it. It's just you got to change it. But I love psychedelics. I feel like they've helped me so much when it comes to my self-growth, my self-love, my awareness, my spirituality, me accepting a lot of things about myself. It just wakes you up to yourself. It makes you see all your insecurities, your flaws. Like, whoa, it wasn't even that serious. And it sits you back at like feeling free again. It makes you really free. Like once you get to the point of releasing all those emotions through the experience, you're like, oh wow. That's why some people, when they take psychedelics, their whole perspectives of their life change after. Like some people, they'll take psychedelics once, and then after that, they're like, I changed this about myself. I was able to get myself together. It's even studies being done. It's a whole college based around psychedelics. There's studies being done saying how psychedelics cure depression, anxiety, and all those things. I was on antidepressants for a year and a half. When I tell you those did not work. But as soon as I had my first psychedelic experience, all of that just went away. It just went away, and I was able to be like, whoa, this is what life really is. Like it felt like I went back to myself being a kid, and I was able to experience life feeling light again, feeling free. I didn't have anything else coming in. But over time, obviously, you're gonna get some of those qualities back, and because it's not like you're tripping every single day, you're on psychedelics every day, so it's still, yourself is still there. Like you're not gonna do a complete 360 around, because you just have to work through those traumas and work through to heal those things. But now you're looking at it from a whole, instead of the ego being there of like, this happened to me, the ego isn't there anymore. It's like, this happened for me, not to me. So wow. I love it. I love it. I love the whole experience of it. And I know when to catch myself when my ego is taking over, because the ego is not just having like a big head. Your ego is anything of like, whenever you think about people like, oh, I know they're probably talking crap about me, anything like that. That's ego right there. They're not talking about you. They're not even thinking about you. You're doing that to yourself. Yeah. So once you dissolve your ego, everything is less personal.
Everybody cares less than you think.
Yeah. They do not care as much as you care about yourself. They don't think about you as much as you think about yourself.
While you're so worried about like this person thinking that and the third, not only do they not care, but they're thinking the same thing about you. They're thinking you care as much, and you're like, you don't really care about them. They don't really care about you. But the thought of them, you think you care about each other, but like, no, we don't. Yeah. Which is crazy. It sounds like what psychedelics has done for you is give you perspective and awareness.
Yeah, it definitely opened my awareness. I've always had like a deeper soul, because even my family would say that I had like an older soul sometimes, and I just had so much knowledge, even for like me being around other kids my age. But I still was a part of society. I was still living in the society. But with the awareness that psychedelics brought, I stopped living in the society and start living like within myself.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a great way that's probably a great way for people to, if they, depending on the person, like that's something necessary to shock them out of the system.
That's what it did. It shocked me out of it. Oh my gosh. It was such I wish everyone can experience it. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It literally shocked me out of it. It shocked me out of it. Because I feel like my soul was in a hiatus. Yeah. Because what happened was my mom passed, and crazy thing ever. Okay. Crazy thing ever, right? So my first psychedelic experience was the last day before my mom passed. So when I did psychedelics, I had my first like, wow, like this is something, but it still wasn't even like a crazy hard one, but it was still like something like, okay, this is a little different. Like this is like my reality, but it's a little, I'm seeing it from a different light now. So it was a great day that I had. So when the next day she passed, I wasn't able to show her my new way of thinking. Like, I feel like I entered into a new world, and I entered into the world and she wasn't even here. Like, that was such a crazy, trippy thing for me. And during that psychedelic experience, I even had said, I was like, it was at the end of the day. And I was like, you know, if my mom passes away, this is the craziest thing. I was like, if my mom passes away, I swear I'm leaving Florida. I was like, I'm not staying here. I'm leaving. And then the next day that happened, that was fucking on my brain. That is some crazy ass shit to me. Yeah. So I was like in a hiatus with my soul for months, from the time she passed to when I had my first like awareness shift, my first awakening through a psychedelic experience, which was March 7th or March 9th or something like that. When I had that first experience, it's like it's like a whole different world. I've never been able to look at the world the same. The way I used to look at the world before doesn't even register. I can't even remember what that felt like living in this world before. I know what it feels like now, but I had a big moment of disassociation because I really didn't know what was going on before. Like, truly, it was just so many different things. It was the trauma, it was the disassociation, it was the psychedelics, it was a lot of things I was going through this was all last year. This was all last year that this happened. And yeah, it was just a crazy ass journey. But I mean, I love where I am now and how I look at the world now and how I don't take anything personal, because that helped so much with my self-love journey and confidence, because that's one thing. Those are two things that I struggled in for a very, very long time. And I still have struggles with just loving myself, choosing myself, and having confidence. But that also came from the trauma that I've had as a child and things like that. But yeah, man, the ego.
That's amazing. that was absolutely great. I loved hearing that.
Thank you.
I'm glad, man, because of course, I mean, I've gone through some of those experiences, but through different means. I've gone through experiences where, for me, I have a relationship with God, so there are moments where He loves talking to me in visions and in dreams.
Yeah.
And when I tell you I've had some of the craziest like experiences as going to sleep, like people talk about sleep paralysis.
Yeah. Have you had that before?
Yes.
What does that feel like?
Many times. You're awake, so you get to this like right before you're in between deep sleep and like the REM. I think REM is like
REM sleep. That's the deepest form of sleep. Right?
That's the deepest form, and then you have like this, and then right before like almost about to fall asleep. Yeah. Almost about to get into deep sleep, but not completely.
Yeah.
And right there, you're awake, your body's asleep, and your soul is awake.
Your body's asleep, but your soul is awake.
So my body can't move. So your body physically is not awake. Can't move, can't function. You can't move. Right? But your soul is very much aware of everything going on.
But your eyes are open? Like you could see, this is with your eyes closed, and you can.
My physical eyes are closed. But like, if I could say like this, my spiritual eyes are open.
Okay.
Like my soul is literally looking around, okay. And I can see everything, and then I can see my own body. I think this is what people consider like a out of body experience, where it's just like literally it's because it's just your soul. I think when people talk about out of body experiences, it's just like turning off your phone, like your body is your phone and turned off.
Yeah.
But your soul's just like, oh snap. So then what it is like now your soul is in the spiritual realm. Now fully operates within the spiritual realm on top of the physical. And there are many times where I've seen, people see these huge dark figures.
Yeah, I hear that one a lot.
Yeah, I've experienced that so many times. Like, I've had those figures. I've died in those dreams, like, many times.
You've died in those dreams?
Yeah.
I always wondered, just because of movies and stuff like that, because they'll be like, oh, if you die in your dream, then you die in real life or something like that. But
No, I should have died.
I mean, obviously,
if that was the case, I should have gone a long time ago.
But that's crazy.
No.
I know people do different things. Like sometimes, like when people want to wake up, they'll like. I've heard someone say they've jumped off a building to wake themselves up from a dream before. But you to say you actually have died in your dreams before, like
and it's always the moment before. That's why you wake up. It's the moment before the actual death happens is when you wake up. So if you fall out of the building, the moment you hit the moment before hitting the ground is when you'll wake up. Sleep paralysis.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll talk about specific experiences where the most significant one was where I choked out what I describe as a demon.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. So my soul jumped out of my body. I was paralyzed physically.
Mm-hmm.
My physical body couldn't move, but I walked out of my body. And I got annoyed. You know what? I got annoyed about having these sleep paralysis dreams and like letting the demon or the figure win.
Mm-hmm.
So I got out of my soul got up out of the bed, walked over to where the demon was, and like literally started physically trying to or spiritually trying to choke it.
What?
So much so that like by the time I consciously like woke up in my body, I was standing up with my hands like this.
What?
Yes, up in the air. And then my sisters walk in. They're like, "Dude, is everything okay?" I'm like,
"That's so."
And I'm
crazy.
Frozen because they heard a thud on the ground, like a loud thud coming from my room.
Uh-huh.
And what I think happened is my body was trying to catch back up with my soul and literally, and then reconnected with my soul.
That's some crazy ass shit.
Right.
Oh my god. That's how I know it's real because you're explaining it so in detail.
Yeah.
Like that's so
it's
crazy.
The fact that I didn't know what happened, but then it was what my sisters heard and what they heard and experienced. Like, dude, it felt like you fell on the floor. That's how they exactly described it too. I'm like, oh, my body probably caught up with me and was like, okay, we got to connect this. Was like calling it back.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
You got to merge your soul and your physical body. That's
back
so
together.
Crazy.
And I wake up like this, hands in the air, and like my muscles were tense. And I was like, and I immediately like release. I'm like, oh snap!
Like, what do you do after that? Like mentally, emotionally.
When I tell you, dude, I prayed for like 30 minutes. I was playing like gospel songs for like the next 45 minutes. I'm in my room. I'm just like, oh, God, please. I was like, thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
Well, thank you, Lord, that I'm still alive. And please, I don't know what that was, but I pray that I don't go through that again.
Oh my! Was that the scariest one that you've
experienced? That was the scariest one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been like chased around the house by one and like been attacked by one, but that was the scariest one. And that was also the time where I got fed up with it because it was like then at that point I started like seeing spirits. And I would feel like I can feel like spirits in the corner. Like they were like spirits in my room. And I could be like, and I would talk to them. Like close when I'm like getting sleepy, and then they would pop up, and then I'd be like, "Oh, you don't have to hide." And the spirit automatically, once I said that, the spirit expanded, as if it stood up.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So I think it was those experiences that kind of unlocked something spiritually about me, where I became more attuned to the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
And I'm like. And I have protectors. There's like a female wolf and like this armored dude, and they're like my protectors as I sleep. Yeah,
that's actually so beautiful.
Yeah,
that's so beautiful. Oh my gosh,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
and it's funny because depending on who I talk to, they're like, "What the heck?" Or they're like, "Oh, I get it."
No, I get you.
Yeah, because some
people are different. They just don't believe.
Yes, exactly. And like then I the more I talk to people, the more either they've had the same experience.
I don't get it.
Or they haven't like experienced anything close to that. So I can, it's really telling.
Yeah.
But man, I think that's without doing psychedelics. That was my way of like,
That's crazy.
yeah. It was. Oh my gosh, just thinking about it was wild. I don't really tell enough people because I always feel like, oh no, they're probably gonna be put off by this, and sometimes they were. But I don't think I should be afraid.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
To understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But man, it's crazy to even think about.
Yeah.
So, but I think in those moments where I had like premonitions of the future, and I'm like, I instantly wake up. I'm like, oh no, we got to do something about this, that, or the third, or like, oh, we got to change this. And although I haven't tried the psychedelics, I think I've had experiences that very much mimic what you've had in a different sense. We're limited by our physical bodies and, but spiritually, almost anything is possible. I would sense I would sense like monsters there were times where we'd be driving through a city and I could see monsters on buildings. Like there was
Wait, when did this start?
When did this start?
Like when did you start seeing all this stuff?
That's a great question. I think I was like somewhere around like 12.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. My parents were very religious, and even my mom said she got a lot of premonitions through dreams. So maybe that gift has transferred. I'm not sure, but yeah, I got a list. I could be here forever talking about those things, but yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. Well, this has been a great conversation.
Yo.
I learned so much about you. Oh my gosh.
See, this is why I love like what was it, that game? Let's Get Deep.
Let's Get Deep. Yeah, I love card games. I love playing card games.
Yeah. I love because I know one thing I know about people is there's so much more to a person.
Yeah.
There's more than what you do. There's more than what job you work or who you're friends with. And it's so intriguing to me. That's why I love psychology I studied psychology in school because I loved the inner workings of every person, which is unique to every person.
Yeah.
So I think conversation helped me like really dissect that, and like I feel like I'm always learning something new, which I am.
Yeah.
So I'm learning something new about humans in general and that person,
and about yourself as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's never. It's never. I'm always down for talk it up because man, it's never a dull moment because you'll find something about somebody in yourself regardless of who you're talking to. So.
Yeah, definitely. But thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I was excited. I was like, oh, let me find some time.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, man, I'm ready to get into this. So appreciate you having me on. This is only the second time I've ever done something like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was really cool.
You about to be stacked with all those words you spitting, all that knowledge you spitting. You about to be stacked.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, see me in 2 years when I'm even more knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Learn even more.
Yes.
Yo. Who knows?
It's only up from here.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
Appreciate that, man.
Of course.
And you're doing such a great thing with your podcast, Ratio Room. It's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Just seeing somebody else have their idea come to life, man, it's inspiring.
Thank you so much.
And I always want to encourage because if it wasn't for the things that move us, that we're passionate about, that help us move and act, man, we wouldn't be able to live the lives we're intended to live, and not only for ourselves but for other people. We need other people to be themselves and live out their lives,
so we can live out.
So we can, yes, exactly.
That's how the community works. That's literally how community works.
Yeah, like one day I want to like thank Sean Green because as much as he wants to like not give credit, I'm like if it wasn't for him, I would have met none of y'all.
Yeah.
If he didn't take his time to be like, you know what? Imagine 20 years ago, he goes, oh, Link, I'm thinking about like getting some class together because he has a vision for the studio. Somebody says something to him, and he's like, you know what? You're right. I'm not going to do the studio.
Then none of us would be here.
None of us, not a single one of us.
Not one of us would be here. That's so crazy.
And our futures forever changed.
Yeah.
For the worse.
What? That is so crazy because it's like Sean's did introduce me to a lot of people, and those people currently I don't have in my life, but the people that he introduced me to the freestyle community. And those are the people that I have in my life. So, but it's still all connected. And then
you meet the the people in the freestyle community that you still know today.
Yes. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. Oh my gosh, that's such a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
It takes just one person to have their idea and just set it, and you're changing so many lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you doing this, especially like you've already gotten the feedback from Volume 3.
Yeah.
Like,
Volume 3 was,
Yeah, that was crazy.
Y'all go tune in. Y'all go watch Volume 3. Go watch it.
Yo, for real. That's a great segue.
Yeah.
Watch Volume 3.
Go watch Volume 3. That crazy. Was nice.
Oh my gosh, good time.
Yeah. But thank you so much for the kind words. Of course. Man. So
keep it up.
Thank you. But all right, guys, that's gonna be the ending of this episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe, share, and as well as if any of you guys have questions or you want some topic specifically to talk about, or you want to tell me something about your life, feel free to direct message HenosisHouse on Instagram, and also you can hit up our email as well. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day or night. So thank you.
Peace.